In the previous video, we took a look at how to graph a quadratic equation in a very simple form. We looked at f of x equals x squared, and then we added the scalar onto that, and we noted that the scalar determined how wide the parabola opens up. And I didn't show an example of down, but I think you get the idea that if our scalar were negative, it would open down. Now I want to take a look at the next part of the graphing form of a quadratic equation, which is the horizontal shifter. And to do that, I've given an equation here of f of x is the quantity x minus 3 squared. So let's see what happens when we do the f of 0 in this case. In this case, the f of 0 is 0 minus 3 squared, or negative 3 squared, or 9. So when x is 0, y is going to be 9. So I have a point right here, and already we can see that our parabola is going to be quite different than our standard y is equal to x squared, or f of x is equal to x squared. So let's keep going with this. Let's try now our f of 1. Well, when x is 1 minus 3 quantity squared, then what I've got is negative 2 squared, which means that the f of 1 is 4. That's interesting. So when x is 1, y is going to be 4. Let's keep going. Let's try the f of 2 now. The f of 2 means that 2 minus 3 quantity squared, or negative 1 quantity squared, which is the same thing as saying 1. So when x is 2, y is 1. Okay. F of 3 is 3 minus 3 squared. Now here we have an interesting situation. When x is 3, y is 0. As in here. And in fact, if we were to continue, we would get that when x is 4, 4 minus 3 is 1, 1 squared is 1, 5 minus 3 is 2, squared is 4, 6 minus 3 squared is 3, squared is 9. We would curve, we're curving right back up. And so you can see that what happened was the vertex of our parabola shifted over. It moved to the right 3 spaces. Why 3 spaces? Because this number in here is a negative 3. We ask ourselves, for the horizontal shifter, what value of x would make this quantity 0? Because what we're basically doing is changing our vertex. Notice that our line of symmetry has now changed. Our line of symmetry is now x is 3, because when x is 3, that resets our 0 value. Our minimum value is still 0. But that's not what we're talking about here. Notice that our vertex, the x value at our vertex, it shifts in the opposite direction of the number in parentheses. It says x minus 3 is 0. So what would happen if we were to ask for the f of, let's do the h of x when the quantity is x plus 5 quantity squared? Since we're shifting in the opposite direction of the number in the parentheses, then with x plus 5 quantity squared, we're going to shift to the left, the negative direction. And our horizontal shifter is going to move it so that negative 5 plus 5, that's going to be our new 0 point, our new 0 squared point. So everything else is going to stay the same. From this 0 point, I'm going to go over 1 squared is 1. From this 0 point, I'm going to go over 1, 2 squared is 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes here. From that new 0 point, I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3 squared is 9. And that creates an even more interesting parabola in that I've shifted now in a negative direction. So our horizontal shifter, our H, moves the parabola in the opposite direction of this number right here. It sends our vertex in a different direction. Interesting, right?